happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Peter Obi is not done yet with the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government. In fact, he has promised him he's going to be in opposition and is doing just a good job of it. And as he's bringing out every day heavy loopholes, and this time around he has brought it to the notice of Nigerians what is going on. And if this time around he's not even throwing side and sarcasm, side kicks and sarcasm, he's saying it the way it is, calling out the government over their recklessness in financial accountability. Let's quickly move into the news, but before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Please click on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Now, this is coming from Peter Obi. He said, and I quote him, "Even as I'm still studying the 2024 fiscal budget as presented to the National Assembly last week, I cannot wait as I'm compelled to ask, what is exactly wrong with us as a country?" I ask this question because it is hard for me to understand some of the recent happenings in our nation. In these critical times, the recent news about a budget provision of 15 billion naira for the construction of a new residence for the vice president is both shocking and disheartening, considering the many important challenges facing our nation. Just recently, in the supplementary budget, the sum of 2.5 billion naira was included for the renovation of the vice presidential residence in Abuja, which means that he already has a residence. Again, during the budget presentation, I heard the sum of 3 billion naira was allocated for the renovation of the vice president's residence in Lagos. If we total all these sums, we would have budgeted the sum of 20.5 billion naira for just housing of the vice president at this critical time, when we are not just the worst poverty capital, but more people are falling into poverty, with so many Nigerians not knowing where their next meal will come from. Our health facilities have collapsed and unemployment is skyrocketing. I am convinced that 99.9% of Nigerians can only dream of living in the current residence of the vice president. Several people employed in the universities are not being paid. Just to give an example, the salary of a professor in a Nigerian university is about 400,000 naira, which without removing tax is about 5 million naira a year. What we have budgeted for the housing of the vice president, who is already luxuriously housed, is therefore the annual salary of about 3,000 professors. This is the finance needed to develop the much needed human capital. The budget of 5 billion naira for student loans, which is yet to be disbursed, is only a tiny percentage of the cost of the vice president's new home. We are projecting to use 4 times the amount for educating all Nigerians indigenous students to house just the vice president. And we are being told there is nothing wrong with us. I am sure the major teaching hospitals in Nsukka, Lagos, Ibadan, and Zaria did not receive this much capital vote in the budget this year. We have had leaders that were exemplary in the past. Most Nigerians may not know that the popular 1004 flats in Lagos, that's 1004 flats in Lagos, was a land allocated for the building of a presidential mansion for the then head of state, General Murtala Mohammed. He sternly turned down the offer and instructed that the land should be used to build blocks or flats for civil servants. That is the kind of sacrificial leadership worth emulating. Our leaders must therefore stop the recklessness and insensitivity to the plight of the masses. We need leaders who show compassion and are willing to sacrifice for common progress and development. Such compassion and frugal leaders are critical in our journey to the new Nigeria. This is coming from Peter Obi, P.O. Nigerians are screaming and shouting. It is not a small thing, I tell you. Okay, but let's quickly look at this critically. Now Nigerians are reacting. I'll just take a cross section very quickly, and I can assure you the reactions are quite painful. This one here says really painful. That's the same house Osiban just stayed in Belly how many months ago, and they're renovating it. Another person here says, Equate, we have a spending problem in Nigeria. As you have always said, we are spending on unnecessary things. Another person is saying, now waiting on one day CBD, steady gang pressing from Peter Obi. He does not need to, whether he's from Peter Obi or not, the truth of the matter is, he's there for all to see. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Some of these politicians or some of these leaders you see in Senate claims like UK, America, and the rest, they don't do this kind of thing. Renovate, renovate in times that we're in. They even borrow to renovate. They used to do sacrifice. Lori Kene. All it's too much. It's too much. Okay, this one here says, I'm equally compelled to ask the very same question, my president. What is exactly wrong with us as a country? People are calling Peter Obi my president, honestly, because he's, feeling the compassion of the people. This person here says, what is wrong with our country? It's INEC. Another person says, Agbado people won't sleep well tonight because of this tweet. Whether they sleep well or not, the truth is the truth. The fact is the fact. This is not propaganda. In the midst of no much, look at just fairly recently about how many doctors died in Lagos. Some hospitals, some of our federal hospitals, as some of the sections of the federal hospital have been shut down because of the level of jackpotting, quote unquote. Our doctors are leaving the country in their droves, going to better claims, United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, wherever they are paying them well. They've been asking for allowances of this and that, and the government have been shouting no money, but they have money to renovate VP's vice presidential lodge, build a house, oh my God, dream kind of house, both for the president and especially the vice president, and then say there's no money, the taxpayers' money are being used to fund just one person, and we're just saying, okay, it's normal, we should understand there should be sacrifices made, and these are the things we're talking about. And that's exactly why we're saying that when the people are saying insensitivity, they say, okay, there's no need. People are even sacrificing for. They're not seeing the sacrifice. Let's go to a place where they appreciate these doctors, and they are living in their droves. And it's the citizens that will feel the pains eventually. Look at our professors. Can you imagine a professor is collecting 400,000 naira a month, despite all the reading, all the theses, all the defense, and all 400,000 naira. And how much the sitting allowance again for our senators who just come according to them, and they will say the other time they said the same thing. I think the teacher was getting angry some 3-4 years ago when he said they are busy teaching, sweating, making tomorrow leaders, and there's all the good politicians are doing it just to loot the money. One of the politicians say, if you want to, nobody's stopping you, can come and contest, because they know where would the teacher say the money to begin to buy, print flyers and begin to bribe those they need to bribe and begin to put brown envelope. Where would they see that kind of money? And that's exactly the problem. This whole thing, this culture began a long time ago. And it's taking Nigerians themselves to stop it. That's going to wrap it up. Let's put in that conversation. What's the take?